Hi everyone, I'm Silke from Total Horse Care and I'm going to show you today the step-by-step method to do a maintenance trim on your own horse. And we've got my volunteer here, that's Lily, who's in her best winter farrel outfit and has quite muddy feet, but well, sure we can manage. Hey Lil? So what we'll do first is we have a look at Lily's feet generally, and we can see that they're quite due for a trim. There's a bit of flaring on those sides, there's a bit of a crack and a few chips, and they're a bit out of balance, so they're well due for their maintenance trim. And yeah, let's get started. I've got all my gear here and we'll show you how to go. So our first step is obviously we're cleaning the foot. So there's quite a bit of mud there, so we get a really good clean. And we can see here that the bars are quite in need of a bit of a trim. Her frog's not looking too bad. It doesn't seem to be any thrush or anything there. So that's all looking good. So then we'll go and see if we have any sole to exfoliate. We'll just, yeah, there's not much there, so that's all live sole. There's not much crumbly sole here. So we'll just dig out that seed of corn here, because that's where we get our heel height from. Make sure there is no old sole there. No, that's all good. It's all nice and smooth, the new sole. We'll try here a little bit. No sole to come off, so that's all good. So we do the bars with help of the knife. So we'll push that with our thumb a bit and run that straight down, so we get the bars just above the sole level. Clean up here a bit, and that's your bars already done. Now the frog doesn't really need any trimming in that case. It's not overlapping the central sulcus or the collateral grooves here. It looks quite nice and neat, so I would not touch that frog in that case. So now we're sort of gonna see next what our heels are doing. So they should be about 3 mil above that sole level here. That's the seed of corn. That's why that's important. That should be 3 mils lower than the level of the heel, which is almost about right. So Lily hasn't got a lot of heel there to take off. So what I'll do is I'll just run my rasp, and I'm holding that the other way around and pull it towards me, and I'll just run that over it gently a few times on both sides. And then I'll tip the heel forward and see if it's even. So that's important, that you sort of go back a bit and have a look if this is the same height and if they look even. So this side can come down 1 or 2 strokes more, and that's about it. So running your fingers up here, you can feel there's still a bit of a ledge, so the heels are still higher than the actual sole level, which is what we want. So that's all that done. So now we're looking at the hoof wall. White lines in here, very dirty, so you can't actually see much. And again, there is not a lot of hoof height there. It's just really uneven, a bit flary on one side, lots of chips. So we'll bevel back from the widest part, and the waterline, which again, you can't really see much. I'm trying to see if I can find it for you. So this is what you would do first. If there was a lot of hoof wall, a lot of height, you run it across. But there isn't much, so we go straight for the bevel from the widest part, 45 degrees, and we'll work our way forward all the way around. Nice strokes there. Go back a bit for a bit more, all the way to the front. And we'll do the same on the other side. If you're a bit ambidextrous, it's good to use both hands. If not, you can use the right hand on both sides. You just have to make sure you get your other finger out of the way. So we'll go right across the toe. So that's all that. So now when we look at it, it's sort of like a picture frame, the hoof wall. It's the same width and the same height all the way around. And again, to make sure you've balanced the hoof, you tip it forward. It's all right now, good girl. Tip it forward, downwards, and get back a bit so you've got a bit of distance and you can look from the top. And here I see there's a slight bit higher on this side. So go back a bit, very careful. We're talking a few mil here. Yep, that looks better. So now we've got a nice balanced hoof. Hoof walls all trimmed, beveled, and Lily's asking me to have a break. So I'll let her get the foot down and I will go and change my part and show you how to do the top dressing forward. So with my hoof stand, there's a different part that comes on. There's different models out there. Some you just tip on the side and then you can put the foot forward. And if you don't have a hoof stand yet, you can just hold it as well. So we'll just pop this on here. Yes, you've been a good girl. We'll put it in front of her. Good girl. Now we'll make sure she's standing square. That's another important bit. So the horse is actually able to give you a foot. If they're completely crooked, it's very hard for them and you'll be struggling to get them to lift a foot, whilst if they're standing balanced, it's very easy and they happily give you a foot. And put it forward. Oh, and have a little stretch as well. Very good. We'll put it on here. Clean the hoof wall. And now we're looking down from the top and we'll see there's a bit of flaring on Lily here. And that's why she's also got that little crack. So it flares and has a bit more pressure on there. So what we'll do is we'll use the fine side and run it along from the top. And we'll only rasp the bottom third of the hoof wall. We don't rasp anything higher because that is not necessary. So I do a bit of more on this side where there's more flare. Work our way all the way around, not so much on this side because that is straighter and not as flared out. And then at the end we round it off quite nicely. Don't do too much of the rounding because you're going to wreck your bevel underneath again. And that little crack here, which is not part of the maintenance trim, I'll just get that off the ground a little bit, just so it won't go further up and has a chance to grow out. So there we are, all done. And that looks much better, Lily, doesn't it? All right. Thank you.